I'd like to welcome you all here and thank you for coming. This has been billed as a rally, and it's not a protest rally. It's a protest in one sense, but it's not that we're going to point the fingers at anybody and say, you should have done this, you should have done that. We will be asking questions, but we're not blaming anybody at the moment. So there are a few people going to talk. I'll say a few words, Robert will say a few words, and Tanya will talk. We're not going to keep you that long. We know there are bigger celebrations coming out the road, and we'd like to thank you for taking your time to come here. So without any further ado, I'll hand you over to Tanya. She's going to call for a minute's silence.
We're just going to have a minute's silence just for Uncle Tom today, really. And one of the reasons we're probably all here is because of the statue that was unveiled in September. And yeah, so we're just going to have a minute's silence. Thanks very much, everybody, for coming here today. I know you're probably all wondering why is blowing for Morum, setting up an online petition and trying to gather momentum for the market house. But I suppose really my intention was, I'm living in Dublin now, but when I come home every so often, it really hits me the buildings that are in our town and that are deteriorating so badly. And I can understand, I lived here for years, and we can become a little bit jaded with the condition of some of the buildings, and it's always been like that, and we just don't pass any remarks. But like working with different committees last year and the County Council itself with the Back to Castleblayney Festival and also the unveiling of Uncle Tom's statue, it was so amazing to work with everybody in the town again and to be home. And we put so much work into the unveiling of the statue and the Back to Castleblayney Festival, and we brought 3,500 people into this town in September, and we done that. And the feedback that we got from people was, when is the next festival? He's going to have it again. People in Castleblayney were amazing. Everything was fantastic. The people out in Oran were amazing. And we done that. We done that ourselves without any help from any other government bodies. And we are a tourist town, and that's what we should be looking at. We should be looking at industry in this town as tourism. And we have it all on our doorstep. How many times have we sat and talked to friends about, wouldn't it be great if Hope Castle was like this? Wouldn't it be great if the Market House was this? But we should be doing that now. And we need to fight for the heritage in our town. These buildings are so important. And Martin's going to talk about the history, and it's really incredible. And we need to save these buildings. But my whole thing was setting up the online petition, and thank you everybody that has signed it. And if you haven't, you can go online. We have the petition here as well. If you're not online, you can sign it here as well. And like, we need to rally up now and really get behind our town and fight for our town. And when we have candidates coming round to our doors looking for votes in May, ask them the questions. We are handing out the letter today that we're sending to the County Council, and you will be able to see what has happened, what hasn't happened, and the complete transparency of what we're trying to do. So ask the hard questions and start fighting for the town, and that was really my whole intention for this. And I'm going to hand you over to Martin now. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Tanya. Robert and myself have been talking along with a lot of the bands in the town over the last 3 or 4 years, and he's going to give you an outline of what our business plan would be leading into the future. So, Robert.
Right, Martin. I don't think I'm going to start off with a business plan just for the moment. Okay, the first thing I'm going to say here is that whatever I say here today, I say without prejudice. Just in case Monaghan County Council decides to take me to court for anything I have to say. Okay? Now, they deserve a touch, and they're going to get it here today. They have treated this town absolutely abominably, abysmally. And it's been going on for over 20 years. And it's time it stopped. And it is going to stop. From today on, things are going to improve and this building will be restored. Now, my problem with the County Council is we've got a lot of what I call career civil servants who come from somewhere else and into this county, and they're moving on if they can get a bigger job somewhere else on the way back to where they come from in the first place. They have no interest in the job. It's as simple as that. Now, that has to stop as well. Now, I come to the politicians. Now, they need a shape up. Now, I know there's a lot of good people in there doing a lot of hard work. They're doing their best. But when you go into Monaghan County Council, it must be soul destroying, because the first thing you're issued with is a muzzle and a choke chain lead. So you can't say what you really think. That also has to stop. And we need the politicians on our side. And lads, when you go back there, just refuse, after the election, just refuse to be fitted for the choke chain lead and also the muzzle. I'm asking you to do that and represent the people the way you should be. And don't come along and say we seem to get peripheral stuff in this town, maybe like a pig and a nest, stuff that we really don't need and are not going to change the lives of the people. So please, would you address the real issues that are happening in a lot of towns in County Monaghan? Now, the plan for the market house has been a vision of mine for a long, long time, that the market house be turned into a visitor centre. Call it what you will, but let's call it a visitor centre for now. A visitor centre for all types of music within Ireland. Let's call it market house music. When you go in, the idea is, when you go into the first room, you go into the first room and you're hit with Big Tom, back to Castleblayney. This is visual. There's a narrator telling the story. There's live bits of, it can be guitars, it can be clothing, whatever. Okay, that's the one side. The idea is you go into one room, it's the show band room. You have Big Tom singing back at Castleblayney, you're going out the same way you come in. Then you're hit with Joe Dolan, good looking woman. You're hit with Brendan Byer, the Hucklebuck. You move into the rock room and you're hit with Tin Lizzy playing The Boys Are Back in Town, for example, or Whiskey in the Jar. And you would also have U2 in the room. U2 would be Where the Streets Have No Name, and so on and so on. So you get the idea. You move into the folk room. The folk room, Luke Kelly will be singing Paddy Kavanagh's Raglan Road, one of her own. You move into, then you get Ronnie Drew with Seven Drunken Nights and so on. So I think you get the picture. The next room will be the pop room with Westlife, Boyzone and so on. And then the idea is to start a tourism industry for this town. This town has the potential to be the new Westport. I went to Westport in the 70s, in the early 70s, and I can tell you it wasn't a pretty sight. And look where it is today. We also have the potential to be a smaller version of Killarney. Right. Underneath here as well, our own young people, if we get the visitors coming, which we will, the bus loads pulling up, you will see this town not alone survive, but strive, but really do well. Underneath here, you would have young people playing music, our own young musicians entertaining the people, and our own people, young and older people, welcoming the visitors to the town. Now, I'd also like to see a young musicians' apprentice school established in the town. What does that mean? It means that there's a lot of young people around the country at the moment trying to learn how to play bass guitars, acoustic guitars, brass instruments and so on. And they just don't know how to go about it, or they've no help. If we had a school, an apprentice school of music here, for not alone musicians, but for sound musicians, lighting musicians, if you want to learn to be a road manager, we should be thinking that way. Get those people to come here, they could filter out through the town, into the pubs and so on, and learn the trade. Now, we move on to behind those gates over there. The business plan for over there is very simple. And lads, could you come up here a second? Could we open these up, lads, please? All boxes, lads. All boxes. Right. I need another few. I say it. I need another few of the lads here. What do we see? Anybody here can hold these up? There's 5 or 6 or 7. Come on ahead up here if you will. Up onto the podium here. Up onto the trail, I should say. Come on ahead up, lads. Don't be shy. Right. Martin, do you know what this is? No, and it's not all the consultants' reports that the council commissioned over the last 20 years. I can guarantee you that. That would take a transit van and probably with the backup of a Hiace to carry those about, and maybe a Brinksmat's armoured car with all the money that it cost. Lads, hold those up. This is the plan, lads, for the Hope Castle estate. This is the history of Ireland. It's known as the Annals of the Four Masters. It was written in 1616, between 1616 and 1636, by 4 monks in Donegal, in the Abbey in Donegal. And Mucknow is mentioned dozens of times here. The Viking raids in 831 and 936. The Cranogs on Mucknow, way back in the 800s, 89 and 1000. They just didn't write it in 1616, 1630. These were all taken from other annals that were written 1,000 years previously. But like the Annals of Clonmacnoise, the Annals of Ulster and so on. I think there's about 11 of the books in total. Now, that's our plan for over at the Hope Castle. A visitor centre for the Hope Castle with all of the history that's in here. It's over there. We have the scenery, we have the history, and lots of other stuff that you can add on to that. The 1641 rebellion started here. You've got the best fishing lake in Europe. Maybe the captain of the English course fishing team described here about 2 years ago that he fished all over the world, in waters all over the world, but he never fished in a better water. So what does that tell you? The potential that we have for the fishing industry, for the tourism industry, the musical end of things, and not to talk about there's 13 miles of shore walk that is yet to be developed on Loch Mucknow. There's lots and lots of stuff that can be done. The Young Musicians Centre could be cited, Apprenticeship Centre could be centred in the annex. It goes on and on and on. These are only a few ideas. But I'll tell you one thing, if we act upon them, and Monaghan County Council will come on board, finally come on board, not just with sort of soft-soaping ideas or think that we're going away. We're not going away. If they come on board, they have access to a lot of funding as a public body. Martin Brady has done Trojan work here, trying to get funding for years and years and years, and he has got funding for the town. He got 140,000 allocated to this building here last year. He found out about it himself. He chased it up. The heritage people had $1 million to give away, and 165 projects around Ireland applied for the money. 7 projects were taken in, and this was one of them. 140,000. It's not lying around in the streets here. What did Monaghan County Council do? They wrote back to the heritage people and told them, we're not taking this money. We don't want it. Can you believe that? You know, it's not enough. It's not enough. What will it do? It would have made a start on the roof, for starters. And it was this man here that got it. And I'll tell you one thing, the gunner's not barking at a hole unless there's a rabbit in it. Look, I've said enough. You get the picture. We have a great script. We have the scene. We have the cast. Now let's go and make a great movie out of all this. Thank you very much.
Well said, Robert. And you can see the passion that he feels for the town and the area in exactly what he said there. I'll start, and it's me that normally gives the history lectures, but he's taken it from me, so he has to be. I'll give you a breakdown. There are stories and rumours going around that the County Council intends that this building would fall, or that it be demolished. We've had enough haymacks coming into the town over the last few weeks without bringing any more into the town. That's not going to happen. The committee that's here on the podium, or trailer, thanks Colin, we will not see that happening. Right? Let's move on to the short history lesson that I normally give, and anyone that meets me in the street has probably heard this 1,000 times before. The history in this area goes back 7,000 years, when the first hunter-gatherers came here. They appreciated the bounty that the lake had, the scenery that we had around here. You followed up with the monasteries, as Robert said, on Monaghan. There are monastic walks from Faughart, Loud Village, Mellifont, Armagh. They all came through this town. This was the access route for all the historical paths through the county. So much so that when the railway was being planned to go to Enniskillen, it came through here. It didn't go through Carrickborough Cross or anywhere else. This is the way they came. This was the most direct route into the north. I move forward, and this is not to be short. 120 years ago, Father Clinton decided that he would amalgamate a hockey team and a soccer team, and they were going to play Gaelic football. And everyone said he was mad. 120 years later, and 37 champions, he wasn't mad. We proved everybody wrong. Maurice Lynch decided with the showman that he was going to buy a bus and head to England, and they said he was a dreamer. We all know what Maurice Lynch meant to the people around here and the people all over England. Big Tom and Henry Arthur and Ginger and Ronnie and John Beattie said they'd form a band, right? If someone had told them when they formed the band that they were going to go and play all over Ireland, all over England, and draw 10,000 to the Galtymore and Cricklewood, they would have been locked up, so they would. But that's what they did. That's what we can do as a town. Robert Irwin here went over, and when he couldn't get a recording studio in Dublin to do what he wanted, he went over to Staffordshire and he bought recording equipment. As it turns out, he didn't realise at the time he was buying it from Richard Branson. Now, if Richard Branson had to stay in partnership with Robert Irwin, he'd be a wealthier man today than he actually is. Tommy Toll had to leave here to get work, and he went to Scotland. And he had his own radio programme on BBC Radio 4 in Scotland. And he came back to Monaghan and he formed a radio programme here, and everyone said he was mad. Right? But he made a great success of it. Can we move on? Hold on. I'm trying to remember exactly where I was going with this. Last year, if you had, the Laney haulers had to tell you, look guys, We're going to be playing in an Ireland final in Croke Park next March. You're being laughed out of the town this year, but they did it and they were there. That's the sort of mentality that we have in Wales. We will not be told what can and can't be done. Did anyone say to Paddy Cole when he was going to Las Vegas that he wouldn't make it there? Or to Anna McGoldrick when she was going to Canada that she wouldn't end up with her own television programme and be one of the biggest artists that they have over there? We will not be told what's not capable of being done. And I'm going to give 2 or 3 quotes and I'm going to finish and let you get on with the rest of your day. Okay? John F. Kennedy said, "Some men see things as they are and say why. We as a committee see things, dream of things that could be and say why not." And that's the challenge I'm putting to you, to us, to all the people in this area. I'm looking at Tom there and I don't know whether he ever sang this song or not. I don't remember him recording it, but I'll be told before too long. Look back behind him. And I'm going to give you the chorus of the song. Not going to sing it because it was football and history were my forte. Not I'm going to be singing the song. Okay. I wonder if I'm past the point of rescue. There is no word from you at all the best that you can do. That's the story I'm asking you today. Remember that. And maybe Eamon told, or someone will sing it on the steps of the building that we restore. Robert has pointed the finger at the County Council, rightly so, for the neglect of it or the lack of belief in what this town could do. We also must point the finger at the wider government for their lack of respect, lack of interest, lack of value in what rural Ireland brings to this country. That needs to be changed, so and if we think we're bad in this town, I have travelled through a lot of towns in rural Ireland, in places that are supposed to be well off, on the wild Atlantic Way. They are dead. But they don't have what we have. They don't have a castle on their doorstep. They don't have the lakes on their doorstep. I defy anybody to walk up to the top of the hill at the back of Kilmaildines and look out at Mullyash, Slieve Fua, the lake itself, the moorings in the distance, Slieve Gullion versus Tantikill the Hound, and the Cooley Mountains, all steeped in history. And that's what we have and have had for thousands of years. And that's what we need to capitalise on and believe. There are 3 ways that things are accomplished. And at this stage, I'm asking, pointing the finger at ourselves for sitting on our backsides and allowing the council to let this happen. But I'm not blaming the council for it. They didn't have the belief that we have. They didn't have the love for the town or the love for the buildings that we have. There are 3 ways things will be accomplished. You can lead, you can follow, or you can get the hell out of the way and let us do it ourselves. We want you all in there for a photograph. Please move in and get one photograph.
Can we have...
And don't be afraid, it hasn't fallen for 200 years, it's not going to fall down.
Somebody take the banners.